Oh, wow. None of this is right.
Close, but not even close.
Not even
Close enough.
What are we doing? Hi. Welcome back to our professional operation, Rocky Apollo Jetic. Doctor.
Nailed
MD,
it.
Doctor.
MD.
Dr. Doctor.
Probably outranks both of us in the military for some reason. Yeah.
05, so probably not.
Yeah, sir.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, definitely, sir.
Sorry, sir.
Yeah. I was scrolling Facebook over drill weekend this weekend, and I saw my buddy was pinning on, and I'm like, what's he pinning on? We went to pilot training together. He graduated AMS about 6 weeks before I graduated OTS, and now he's in 06. And
nice.
so I sent him a message. I'm like, what, sir? And he's like, yeah, I'm the wing commander now. And I'm like, what? That's not possible. We're still children. They can't put us in charge. And turns out,
you remember all the silly stuff he was doing too as a lieutenant. And
oh yeah, for
could
sure.
ruin his career, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good dude though. I'm happy for him. But yeah, man, welcome back. We have brought you on this show to talk about the latest developments in aerospace medicine because we care about mental health. This is our mental health minute, by the way.
Yeah, there we go.
Our mental health
month.
minute.
Yeah,
because you are, wow. So for those that don't remember, because it's been a minute since you've been on the show, you are a military flight surgeon, right? Mm-hmm. Still doing that on the F-16. So we're going to talk to you about some fighter aerospace medicine stuff here in a minute. But on the civilian side, you are an AME, which is a aerospace medical examiner. Is that right?
Aviation medical examiner, but super close.
So close. Military aviation.
Same.
And then you're the owner of Go Flight Medicine, which is an awesome service that helps people get their medical stuff together, right? I was messing with that the other day, and I think you're going to show us some of that here in a little bit as well. So first, welcome. We're happy to have you.
It's good to be back.
And second, tell us about the latest in aerospace medicine.
Yeah, for sure.
I've asked you to hear. Are you ready to share your screen? Or is that where?
Yeah, I'll share screen.
You got all your inappropriate tabs down from earlier that you were showing us?
Yeah, I made sure to do that for sure. Okay. Is it showing? Do you want me to
yeah, go ahead.
Zoom in on that, or is that pretty clear?
No, that's awesome. That's
looks good.
So I mean, maybe the first point of confusion to erase ahead of time is as a HIMSS AME, some people may not know what that is. Has nothing to do with the company HIMSS that you get the ads for to correct your erectile dysfunction or your male pattern baldness.
Wouldn't know about it. Wouldn't know anything about it.
Yeah, it was kind of funny when that company came around and then became so successful. But in the FAA and aviation world, HIMSS, HIMS, stands for Human Intervention Motivational Study. It's like, well, what does that mean? It's just a bunch of words stringed together. That's kind of like FAA's code for drug, alcohol, mental health concerns for pilots, right? It came about, I think, like in the 80s as the FAA was developing a program to deal with people that had issues with alcoholism. And now it's kind of ballooned to be all things mental health with pilots. And that's the protocols and the programs that the FAA puts you in if you've had issues in those areas. And then they have AMEs like myself have to go get more specialized training to monitor patients or pilots that are in those programs. So that's what the HIMSS thing is. And so that's what we'll talk about a little bit is this thing that just came out. You can see the date's 5/27/2026. So literally just last
breaking
week.
News.
Yeah, breaking news. Super exciting. But they do like a grand rounds thing where they update us as the AMEs every month, where the FAA will say, hey, here's the latest thing going on with the Aeromedical Certification Division in Oklahoma City, AMCD. And this was the big thing that came out last week, which I think is actually a pretty big deal because a lot of pilots and the culture of pilots have been, hey, you do not address your mental health. You do not go see a therapist. You do not pass go. You do not collect $200 for anybody that has the name mental health provider after them, or your career's over. And really what the purpose of this guidance, we can go into some of the specifics on, and I wrote a blog article about it to simplify it for you guys too, because I know you guys don't like the medical jargon, but
Gonky can't read, so can we get the
talked
audio
about
book
that.
We need the audio version.
The emojis, right? We just go with emojis.
That's right. Just do it with emojis.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be funny to have people compete and see like what emojis describe different mental health diagnoses
Perfect. It's
in the
happy,
comments.
sad. It's the only
Yeah.
two you got.
No, there's an angry one too. Is that one you, Mooner?
Oh,
Yeah.
There's
yes,
a
that's
sad
true.
one. There's
Anger,
sad.
anger
Sad,
management.
angry, sad. What's
Yeah.
ugly cry?
Dude, there's a
Yeah.
whole movie about it. I just watched it with my kids. Anyways, sorry.
Yeah. No, it's good. But the bottom line up front with this new kind of statement here and the FAQs that they put out here was they want, like you see, number one, see your therapist, counselor, physician, or provider and get healthy. They really are
Wow.
trying to reduce stigma, and they're trying to just say, hey, it's okay for you to go see a therapist, and we, if anything, we encourage you. And it's been funny because when I first started being a HIMSS AME, it was kind of a big deal for seeing a therapist, and then I started to see like an interesting change where people were actually being required to go see therapists or encouraged to go see therapists as part of like their special issuance if they had a history of depression or anxiety or struggles in these domains. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. It seems like the FAA is like really starting to become very pro therapy, and now they just came out with this. And so if you like, we'll send links to this, but this is in the actual AME guide, and it's available for pilots here. These FAQ is kind of the answer, commonly asked questions about, can I see a therapist? And if I do see a therapist, what does that mean? I mean, some of the big things in here is one, you don't need to immediately report to your AME. It only has to come up when you go to get your medical certification. You talk with your AME. And this is where I think it's really important to, do your homework and make sure you're working with AMEs that are following this guidance, because a lot of people that come to me for, consulting have been in some ways inappropriately deferred because they went to an AME that wasn't up to date on the guidance and just maybe got a little bit spooked or only does aviation medicine part-time, and they're just a primary care doctor, and they're like, oh, I'm just going to defer you, not realizing that they cast you into the FAA queue that's going to keep you deferred and down for months. Whereas, if the AME was reading up on the guidance, like a lot of these things are not that big of an issue. We just comment on it and be like, patients seeing or airmen seeing a therapist for, interpersonal like relationship stuff, family counseling, or they're going in for, just improve their mental resilience because, you guys are in stressful professions, and so therapy can benefit you in ways. The big thing you need to be aware of is if your therapist starts to give you a diagnosis that could be potentially disqualifying. And that's where they also created a separate document that you could actually read beforehand and give to your therapist that kind of informs the therapist before you even start therapy, what are some of the implications, so that your therapist knows, if you meet criteria for major depressive disorder, yeah, that's important to know, and that's going to have implications. But the therapist has to really be serious before they give you that diagnosis versus, some therapists may just throw that on there because they're like, oh, it's close enough, and they need a diagnosis to go with your, whatever you're complaining about so that they can be compensated or reimbursed, because that's the way the healthcare system works. But they need to be aware, like, hey, this is a pilot. If I'm going to give them a diagnosis, I need to understand what the implication is. So if you're just there for, family therapy or family counseling, or you're there for mental resilience, and they have a list of a whole bunch of things that would kind of fall in these different categories of things that would be completely acceptable here. They say anxiety, mood symptoms, life transitions, personal development and resilience, relationship challenges, stress management. Now, so you can go to a therapist for all those things without it at all affecting your ability to fly and your medical certificate. So all this stuff here, there's a lot of other things they cover, but it's all created in such a way to kind of encourage pilots to seek therapy when needed, which I think is great. And so there's that document on here. And then if you go back,
wait, Apollo, is there another? So it says it's talking about, and this is where you were saying who must I report, right? I think there was a thing about you got to report all visits. Is this on
MedExpress?
Well, on MedExpress, is it in the same? Have they created a new block for it, or is it under the same every medical professional you've seen in the last 5 years? Because as you know, that is the worst part about doing a medical, because either you run out of space or you've forgotten because it doesn't remember. There's no autofill. You just have to remember and hope that it didn't got you. And you have to do it every 6 months or every year.
Every time.
And it doesn't remember the last time. So it's not cumulative.
Yeah, I usually tell my patients, I'm like, hey, save a copy of your 8500, or if you want it, I save on my portal. I have this patient portal that I created. I save the 8500 for all my patients. So if they lose it, just, hey, ask me for it. I can get it to you before your next one, so you can copy paste all your stuff. I was just at the HIMSS advanced course with FAA, and we had a pilot member. We had actually 150 pilots there. I think only like 35, 50 docs. So there were more pilots represented than docs at this conference. And one of the pilots asked one of the FAA lead docs, like, hey, when are we going to have an update to MedExpress so that it, will auto-populate previous answers? And they basically just said it's harder than you think to do, and we've tried, and it's not coming online soon. But
there's your $1 million idea. Your website
right?
auto-populates the form from the data, and we don't have to, because that's the worst part of a FAA medical. It's not even the medical; it's that stupid.
No, I agree. The more stuff you have on there, it's like you got to remember exactly what you put. Yeah, it's a problem. It's a known problem, and that's actually like I created the portal to make me more efficient and make it easier for my pilots and my patients to be able to navigate the medical system and track our special issuances, and for HIMSS patients to track all that stuff. But my next step will be then to try to, get it to other AME clinics. And then the final boss would be trying to get the FAA to like integrate with it in some way, so that it's like one click and all of your documents get submitted. But we'll see. I mean, we'll see. But yeah, the point you made, I don't think there's a new question or a new block. It's still just, if you see a healthcare provider, it's supposed to go in there. A therapist is considered a healthcare provider. That's supposed to have already been reported previously. And it just goes in there, and the same place where you would put all of your other previous medical appointments over the last 3 years.
What about, because pilots do this. This used to be the allegedly workaround, was the military family health counseling, like the military has one source, the DPH, that's non-medical counseling, which means they do not chart anything. There's no record that you've ever talked to them. You're just sitting down talking to somebody. Is that now included, or was that always included, or is that kind of still the same? As long as there's no documentation, it didn't really happen kind of deal?
This actually answers that question perfectly. All visits to licensed healthcare providers, including psychotherapists and counselors, must be reported on the MedExpress application. This isn't new. This is actually the same guidance as previous, but it provides some clarification. Educational counseling and religious counseling, unless the clergy member is also a licensed counselor, does not need to be reported. Couples counseling need not be reported, unless the aviator then is sent to an individual therapist that's licensed. And then consultations with what's EAP?
That's the employee. That's what it falls under, right?
Oh
EAP,
man, you saved me here. You saved me. I could have got quiet. I could have looked. Really
EAP is what a DPH is, because it's an employee assistance program or something.
Employee assistance program.
Yeah.
So that kind of covers that. So yeah, I mean that is a workaround. If you go to see the chaplain, if you're military or clergy member based on your faith, or if you're seeing a couples therapist and couples counseling, that does not need to be reported.
Yeah.
So those are ways then that's what I think pilots felt like they had to do. If they wanted to get therapy, they had to go down those roads. But now you can go see a licensed therapist where the quality of therapy actually is going to be considerably higher because the level of training is much better. Yeah. And as long as you're staying within these criteria, these guardrails, and knowing them ahead of time can help you like maintain that. And if you're working with a reasonable AME, and the AME is aware of this guidance, then it's a non-issue. I have tons of pilots that are on therapists or that are seeing therapists, and we just noted in block 60 kind of the final place where I make my summary, and I issue the certificate. And the other thing the FAA has been doing is they're putting more and more of the responsibility and designating more and delegating more of the autonomy to the AMEs, the individual AMEs. They're giving these like new fast tracks for ADHD and for depression, for anxiety, PTSD, situational depression. They all have these fast tracks. So if you're working with a good AME that knows what they're doing and is following the guidance, you can really avoid unnecessary deferrals. And that's why I also encourage a lot of my pilots, and pilot applicants that are coming in for the first time that have things in their history. It's like, hey, do the consult first. And we'll figure out a plan before we do the MedExpress. Because once we open the MedExpress, we have a 14-day window to submit. And if we miss that, we defer. And instead of getting your certificate from me, within a week, you wait months and months and months, and you're going back and forth with the FAA, and then they're looking through your medical records, and it turns into, more information that needs to be presented. So, but overall, I think this is a great policy change,
Well, so my question now to you, because we do have a lot of aspiring military pilots that are also flying. How's the military keeping track? How's the Air Force keeping track? are they also being more progressive towards this, or is it a situation where you report this to the FAA, you went to see a therapist because you thought it was good, and then you go get your, IFC1 to go be a Buckley guard guy, and you get grounded because you said you had anxiety 10 years ago?
Well, I mean, generally the military standards are going to be stricter than the FAA standards. I haven't, to be honest, I haven't kept up with them as much because they've taken away the initial flying class physicals from the different satellite clinics and locations at different bases, and they're consolidating it all. At least in the Air Force, they're consolidating it all. All the guys go through Right Pat. So like, I don't do many initials anymore. So,
but even okay, so even like us old dudes, right?
Yeah.
Gonky gets anxious because the show is not going well. Goes and talks to a counselor tomorrow. Wants to go fly like Maverick in Top Gun at age 60. What is he going to get grounded even though the FAA says okay? Is the military side okay with you going and getting counseling on your own?
Well, actually, since you said that, I just already logged into ASIMS and I denipped him while we're talking. So sorry about that, buddy.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Hey, blame mover. I just had to follow the checklist. No, I mean, I think in general, the Air Force, and I can't speak as much for the other branches, are moving in a similar direction, trying to remove stigma from mental health. But their standards are different. They're not related to FAA at all. They're completely parallel systems. I mean, there are similarities, but there are significant differences too. And the militaries tend to be significantly more more strict, just because the job is more stressful. Flying a single seat fighter aircraft is different than flying a large aircraft where you always have a co-pilot. But to be honest, like I've lost a little familiarity with the day-to-day changes that the FAA is doing on what the Air Force is doing on what they call the MSD, the Medical Standards Directory, is their primary document, and the second one is the waiver guide in terms of like where they've moved on these conditions and therapy. Yeah, I'd have to review that. I could do a quick research on that and maybe get you something that you could post.
I didn't want to put you on the spot. I'm just curious
it's a good question.
This is,
you have a lot of military guys.
A lot of people watch that are both, and you sit there and you're like, okay, well, I'm good with my airline job, but now I can't do my reserve gig anymore because whatever. On the flip side, now you can go get your VA for your mental health thing.
No, I mean, that's a super important question, because you're right. Now you're envisioning the guy he's a weekend warrior, but he's also flying for a large airline. He's like, oh, great, I can go do therapy. Well, what's the implication on my military career?
Right.
And yeah, I'll find a better answer for you about that. Because that's a totally valid question. That's something a lot of your audience will want to know.
Yeah, especially Gonky.
We don't have to worry about him anymore. He's Denif.
That's what I'm saying.
Probably till he retires.
They put an ending of never. Ending is never.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. So do you see this as, are they going to continue to get better? Because we've covered this. There was a girl that she had some depressive issues, and she's got counseling, and the nasty grams that came from the FAA were like, you have to prove this, you have to prove this. So I guess now, basically, if you're both forthright about it and proactive, there's hope.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think on all fronts that the FAA is moving in a direction. Since I've been at HIMSS-AME for maybe 5-6 years, and since I've started, they're up to 9 antidepressants that are now considered conditionally acceptable. You can get a waiver for. When I first started, there were 4. These fast tracks didn't exist when I started doing it, to allow the AMEs to issue when you have history of mental health conditions. So like everything. Oh, and they just changed in December. You used to have to, if you wanted to take an antidepressant, you had to be on it for 6 months at the same medicine, same dose, before you could apply for a special issuance. Now they changed that to 3 months. They halved it. Wow. So everything they're doing is like in the direction of reducing stigma and, acknowledging like, hey, because they're trying to walk this tightrope. Like we still want to maintain flight safety. We don't want people that are suicidal or having panic attacks flying aircraft and responsible for passengers. But we also want to create a system where people feel comfortable disclosing and, will get the help they need, So that's what they're trying to do. This is the blog article that I wrote, just kind of discussing these two things. And the other one is the one, information for therapists. I just want to show real quick. This is a document that if you were to seek therapy, you should print out this document and give it to your therapist and make sure they're willing to look at this and review this, and that you've read this too as the pilot, so you know what you're getting yourself into.
Wow. Yeah. So make sure they don't write something that's going to be a game changer for you.
Yeah. So you kind of know how.
Unless you have a really good LTD program with your airline.
Yeah, in that case, yeah.
Don't look at me.
Yeah.
And then do the opposite of what's on here.
Yeah, mixed incentives. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
So
like you said, like the VA thing is that it comes up to me all the time. I do a lot of consulting in the VA space where a guy will come in and they'll be, hey, you know, I'm leaving the military and I'm going to be I'm a military pilot. I want to transition to be a civilian pilot. What are the things that I should or shouldn't, try to go after as a service connection? And I mean, my first thing is always, hey, like if this is a true diagnosis and the military caused it, like you should be awarded that benefit. However, like I'm just going to tell you what are the implications of each of these diagnoses on the FAA's, medical certification process, and then you choose what you think, you want to, essentially seek out as a VA diagnosis for disability. But that's something else to consider too, because PTSD is a big one. And I've dealt with guys, I've consulted with guys where they were like, I had no idea that the VA was going to give me this. They like looked at my records and now all of a sudden I have major depressive disorder just thrown on. There's like, I never saw a mental health provider during active duty time. But some of these third-party companies are highly incentivized to increase your award because they get a certain cut. And so they'll just throw stuff on there. And, if you're just Joe Schmo, it doesn't matter. And maybe you want to get, you're just looking at like, what do I get paid out by the VA? But if you're a pilot, that matters, and it can have implications on your career. So you got to be careful there too. Yeah.
Yeah. So your website, you were going to show us is a patient portal that tracks all this stuff, like for those that are common folk like ourselves.
Yeah. Let me show you. Yeah. So this is something we created, and this is kind of on the. This is just me as a test pilot and living in Salt Lake. I'm a Delta guy. Sorry about that if you don't like Delta, but on the side from the admin side, this is what I see.
Dr. Frown.
Like, yeah. And what we can do is we can quickly assign a protocol. So what we've done is we built into this portal all of the FAA's possible protocols and checklists. And so I can quickly be like, okay, I got a guy that got a DUI, so I'm gonna give him that one. Oh, he got diagnosed with, he's taking Accutane for his acne, and maybe he got refractive surgery. And then I quickly assign these protocols, and now that I'll upload that checklist onto his side, which he sees on, and he comes into the portal through the patient side, which I'll show you here. This is like me logging in. This is all through our website, and it's made to be very, very pilot friendly, where it's all on checklists. So they would see their overall progress. They see all their different diagnoses. Obviously, there's a lot of different diagnoses, but I'm just a test patient.
Man, this dude's got some issues.
I know.
DUI, he stopped drinking.
Poorly functioning thyroid. I got the sleep apnea.
That's because he drinks so much. All this stuff is from his alcohol.
DUI. Yeah, these are all kind of HIMSS cases. A formal HIMSS is someone that's doing drug or alcohol monitoring. But then each one is assigned a checklist. And so the checklist, so say you got the DUI, boom. Worst day of your life, you got a DUI. It has links to the certification aid and all the FAA guidance. Everything's drag and drop. And so it's a checklist, and it goes green when you upload the documents that the FAA is going to require of you. And then it takes you through the status report that I need to fill out, which is what the FAA's form is. And so everything's kind of built in here, and everything's diagnosis specific. So even if you just came out, if you just had refractive surgery, you need to fill out this specific form. It's on here. Everything's drag and drop. You can schedule your exam at one of our 5 clinics right here. Boom. And everything just works really well. We do our messaging through the portal here. You can you can schedule your appointments. If you're a HIMSS patient, you can track your AA or your drug testing through here. We have a bunch of resources, templates, forms all on here. So it's kind of a one-stop shop, and it's working really well for us. So that's how we're, trying to simplify the medical process for people that actually have special issuances or even khaki conditions or other things. But, someone like yourself, Mover, that's super healthy, there's no reason to really utilize this portal.
I'm a machine. We actually had a question on the ADHD, which I think people are getting. So this is for the military side. I think that's grounding, right? There has to be a timing between the ADHD diagnosis and when you actually go?
Yeah. So on the FAA side, the answer is no. Actually, I just got this question. I get this question probably every week. People just like randomly message me, can I take stimulants and be a pilot? FAA, no, never, can't do it. You have to be off meds 90 days. You have to go through a whole process to get certified. Fighter pilots, they have the counter fatigue management program, which you guys are probably familiar with, which allows pilots to take go pills, which are stimulants, ADHD meds generally, and then no goes, which are your sleep aids. And that's tightly controlled by the flight surgeon and the actual AFIs as well, the Air Force instructions. But in some scenarios, in certain cases, flying a single seat aircraft over duration of certain missions, like we do give stimulants and go pills to you guys. Actually, I remember when I was at Osan Air Base back in the active duty days. It was my first active duty assignment as a flight doc, and we had the U2s there, and their dextroamphetamine, their Adderall, was in a toothpaste tube. Kind of mixed in like almost like a pudding or something, because everything was to take through the straw. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah. We also had the question, does this supersede PRP? That PRP is for the mill side. This is we're just talking FAA. That doesn't apply.
This does. I was at a PRP base, so I can speak a little bit to that, but I mean, PRP is different than flight standards, right? Like your PRP status applies to anybody that has some type of role with the nuclear, program. But anything. So that's like your security forces at a PRP base have to maintain PRP. It's not. It's a totally different standard. It has a different list of medicines, different conditions that affect your PRP status than your flight status, even in the Air Force. They're two totally different things. I mean, they make sense in that the problem they're trying to solve is to keep unsafe people out of these positions of responsibility. But aside from that, they're just different, right?
Spare vessel. Do you think Maverick could use some therapy, given he seems to be asking dead people for help in a dogfight?
I don't think Maverick would needs anything, right? I mean,
Cougar was the one that lost it, turned in his wings.
Correct.
Maybe Iceman might have had a personality disorder, but
Rooster also had some daddy issues and all kind of stuff.
Yeah, Rooster had daddy issues. They go through every Top Gun character and try to assign them a mental health diagnosis.
Brent says, what about blood pressure meds? There seem some are disqualifying because they're also prescribed. I'm not even going to try that word or these words. Actually, nothing after prescribed.
Anxiolytics, yeah. So this is actually another thing we have on here is we have I have a medication database that we've created. It's another thing. I'll put a little plug here. So propranolol was the one he mentioned. So yeah, propranolol, it says right here, may be approved case by case. So it can be used for high blood pressure, but it can't be used to treat your anxiety, right? Or if it would, it would require a special issuance. So some of the meds that that question is actually a really good question. Some meds that are blood pressure medicines are also used for public speaking, anxiety, things like that. But most blood pressure medicines are approved. So I would just say, talk to your AME, or you can use this. You can find this on my website under the resources tab. There's a FAA medication lookup that we created here. And it has links to all actually at the bottom, you have all these different PDFs from the FAA. So like sleep aids, guys ask about this a lot. Which medications can you take if you're for sleep, Ambien, things like that. So those are all listed in there too.
Yeah. So D Lilly, while you're there, wants to know, are there any antidepressants, anxiety, ADHD, or PTSD meds that military or civilian pilots are able to take? So that's what you were answering earlier.
There's 9 antidepressants. Go to that really quick. So there's 9 antidepressants that pilots can take and get special issuances for. They're all listed right here. And it was 4 when I first started doing this. These ones are not approved. So you have a red box and a yellow box. You don't have a green box. It means you can't just start taking the antidepressant and be good to go. You have to go through the special issuance process. I think she asked about ADHD. No, we already talked about that. PTSD, if you're using these medicines for PTSD, yes, these are like the mental health. I have some patients that are taking these off label for IBS, for other conditions, fibromyalgia, and I've gotten special issuances for them on those conditions as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hold on. Now I got to hide this comment. Is there any FAA regulations evidence-based, or is it just bro science?
Wait. Is any of the FAA regulations
Yeah.
evidence-based? No, I mean, I think when you go to these conferences and you see what these doctors that are making the policy are trying to do and the way that they're thinking through it, they're incredibly thoughtful people. They're not just like saying like, hey, we're just going to try this out. I mean, there is some things are more on precedent and tradition than evidence, but that's medicine in general. I mean, there's a lot of things that we do in medicine that don't have quote unquote evidence behind it, but they try to align this when there's more and more studies that come out. Like a lot of these medications that are listed here, the FAA needed to see a good track record and see them being utilized by the population and not have certain adverse effects before they, allowed pilots to use them safely.
I mean, like Gonky's COVID injection.
Lack thereof.
No comment on that one. I'm not.
Yeah. All right.
I'm going to divide the crowd.
Moving on to something less controversial. We have one topic we would like to cover with you because I'm genuinely curious.
I can stop sharing screen here.
To set it up, the Aviationist was reporting F-15E pilot downed over Iran had also survived the Kuwaiti-friendly fire shoot down at the start of the war. There's not much to the article. Dude 44 pilot was shot down twice, once by the Kuwaiti Hornet and once over Iran. And so, wow. First off, Apollo, as our resident flight surgeon, what are the aeromedical concerns about ejecting twice in 1 month?
Yeah, I mean probably the biggest one. Tremendous G forces in the Z axis when you eject. I mean, huge amounts of G forces there, and so the spine is probably the biggest source of injury that we'd be worried about. A lot of times you see like these compression fractures where the vertebral bodies, the actual bones like break just due to the forces on those. I mean, it really also depends on whether or not the pilot's ejecting well within the envelope and all the flight parameters look good versus, near the border outside that envelope.
I think both cases were fairly benign. Like he was probably unaware both times.
Let's be honest. Strike Eagle's flight regime is pretty benign. It's a bomber. Right?
It's a bomber passenger jet. We're unclear whether the Wizzo ejected him.
Now, do you think that there may be some mental issues now being shot down twice in 1 month?
Well, I mean, aside from the ridicule that he's probably getting at the at roll calls and what you guys are probably putting the poor guy through. Yeah. No, I mean, sure, of course, that's a super stressful thing to go through, right?
Twice.
Incredibly. Yeah, once.
In bad guy land. I mean, he had to evade the second time. I mean, arguably both times were in bad guy land because somebody bad shot him down.
Do you think it was? I'm like. For sure, hostile renaming. Probably new call sign Lucky. And can you imagine, like, on the flight schedule now, like, every Wizzo in that squadron? It's like, oh, shit.
Well, that's...
who's going to fly with him? Who's going to
fly with Lucky today, dude?
Apollo, what is the rule? Because, you always hear once you eject a certain number of times, your career's done. Is there a hard and fast rule for how many times you can eject?
I'm just on the medical side, and so I think the rules you're talking about is like, what's the administrative action from ejecting first in terms of the medical, if you end up ejecting completely cleanly and you're in the right position, you have zero injuries, then I don't think there would be any restrictions. I'd have to look up the guides to see if there actually is, but the things that we would look for, I mean, all those guys get imaging of their back because like 20 to 30% of people that eject will have those vertebral fractures I talked about. I mean, you also get flail injuries if you're not in the appropriate position and your arms are out, legs are out, you're going to see long bone fractures. That's super common. I mean, you're seeing burn injuries in some cases. C-spine can be undergo a lot of stress too. So you're going to get MRIs of the C-spine if you're having any pain there. Even the ligaments and tendons there. I'm trying to think of what else would barotrauma, like your ears as well, is common too. Guys that blow out their eardrums if they have any trapped air, sinus blocks, those types of injuries as well. I think there's been guys that have dislocated shoulders.
God.
So I mean,
I would imagine the first time was obviously completely unexpected. 1 minute you're flying along and the next minute you're like, what
mover? Maybe the second time. I mean,
Also unaware.
Yes, maybe they were flying along fat, dumb, and happy, and the colonel wanted to go for a parachute. I don't know.
I've never landed a plane in my life.
Have they said who pulled the? Well, actually,
no, that's all tight-lipped. All we can do is wildly speculate.
Make fun of the passenger
and make fun of that community as much as possible. And then it's funny, the people that get mad are not Strike Eagle people. It's like fanboys. They're like, you need to stop. We really, love that jet. It's like,
in all seriousness, the guy's lucky.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, hopefully he doesn't have any. But you're correct. You are not lucky because you've been shot down twice in a month.
But we're now we're seeing the difference between you guys. Who's the cup's half full and who's the cup's half empty?
Yeah,
right? It's on display, and we all know.
Is it really luck when the rest of his squadron has managed to match the number of takeoffs and landings? Well,
true.
Some of his squadron.
That was his first 2 missions in country, man.
Yeah, he'll never get an air medal at this rate.
I didn't know that.
I made that up, man.
The sources, I made it up.
Well, I hear one of you guys saying, "Hey, it could have been worse." I hear the other guy saying it could have been much better. So.
Well, hey, he's right. Thankfully, he survived.
Yeah,
2 ejections, like one.
Yeah, thank God. Yeah.
I mean,
I wonder if Wizzo was the one that lost because you talk about injuries. There's that video of the Wizzo in the back, and like half his hand is missing because of it kind of degloved him. Like,
well, that's why they do the what they call the anthropometric measurements when you first want to become a pilot. They determine which aircraft you can be in. So like the one measurement they do is the femur to knee, right? And if that femur to knee, so if you could be, they say, oh, you're too tall to be a pilot. Well, it's not necessarily what your height standing up. I mean, that's part of it. But the biggest one is, is most of your height in your torso or is in your legs, because if your femur to knee exceeds a certain measurement in certain aircraft, you're not going to clear the dashboard. You're going to lose your legs coming out of the aircraft. So, that's one of the measurements that's super critical.
My buddy had to sign a waiver. The T-45 was like that.
Yeah.
There was
fly at your own risk.
An A-10 dude that was like a former Dallas Cowboys guy, and his knee would hit the gear handle in the A-10. So, like he had issues with that. But man, I'll tell you what, that's
there was a mishap related to that incident. He got into a habit pattern of every time he would land, he would like move his leg in a weird way and do some strange thing. He would like undo his G-suit, or he had this habit pattern that he developed because he didn't fit in the aircraft. And he had been, when they looked back, they saw that people had basically fudged his numbers 2 or 3 times and kept on pushing him through. And then it finally led to his G-suit caught the gear. Was the gear?
It was a gear handle. Yeah.
The gear handle. And and he pulled his gears up by mistake because he had done this strange thing thousands of times. And then that was a famous incident. That was a mishap that they talked about in the course.
Wow. Yeah. Well, in this case, I mean, so his first ejection, obviously he was picked up immediately by friendly forces. And then the second one, he did a little bit of E&E, but he was the one that got picked up first. He was not the one that it took a day or two to go get.
Yeah, that was the Wizzo, right?
Yep. Yeah, the Wizzo 06 had to do his kerneling. But they teach that in PME, by the way. That's where you learn about Air War College. But the pilot obviously was the higher priority, so they went and got him first.
Right.
Hey, there's always a pecking order, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. For him though, they're like, wait a minute, who is it? It's like
again.
So if it was the flight surgeon, would they even have picked him up? Where would he have gone in the pecking order?
That depends on how many.
How many are Denef? Yeah, is Gonky grounded in ASIMs right now or not?
Right.
No, the one question they would have been asking is when do the next round of Go Pills go out? If it's tomorrow, he's getting picked up immediately.
Yeah. No, we love our flight surgeons because they keep us flying.
Yeah,
we actually do believe that we need them.
Yeah, we try.
Unless they ground us, and then no.
Yeah, well, I tell my philosophy in flight med in aviation medicine, and I learned this being a fighter pilot doctor was, first question I always ask is myself is this person in front of me, are they an immediate risk to flight safety? Yes or no? And if it's yes, it's like, okay, we're gonna have a hard conversation because I don't want to be the last guy talking to this guy. He's got a family. He's got, loved ones around him, as well as all the people that are responsible for him if he's a commercial guy. But, it's actually pretty rare that the answer to that question is yes. It's more commonly no, there's something medically going on, but they're not an immediate flight, risk to flight safety. And then it becomes, I'm advocating for that gal, and I'm trying to help them, follow the protocol, the checklist appropriately with the minimum impact to their flying career, and that's what I think most of the good flight surgeons are trying to do.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Apollo, we have appreciated having you on the show and your insight. That's great news that the FAA is doing that. I hope the Air Force and Navy follow suit if they haven't already, and we get mental health as a priority, because I think it's, the mind is the human weapon, right? That's the best. It'll betray you and it'll also help you in the same day.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. And I'll do some research and find some of the answers to the Air Force stuff at least, and I will get that to you. And you guys do show notes, don't you, or something like that?
Sure. Yeah.
I'll put it in a comment in the YouTube.
Budget here, Apollo.
Yeah. If you do it in a comment, I will argue with you, and Gonky will never see it. So
I'll do 2 comments. One in like actual phonetic alphabet. The other one just emojis for Gonky.
Perfect.
Pictures. Picture book. Well, we appreciate having you. We've got the links in the description to go check out your Go Flight Medicine, and also to check out the new standards. But thanks for joining us. We know you're a busy man, and good luck with your flight training. Hope that goes well as well.
Yeah, we'll be starting that soon.
Awesome.
Just finishing ground school. All right, we'll see you guys.
Hell yeah. See ya.
Have a good night.
Take it easy. Well, Gonky.
Hello.
Uh-oh. There are comments. I hope it's nothing from okay, it's nothing. JD says, get our Luna girl some treats to help her on a speedy recovery. You know what? I'll show you the Luna cam. She had a scare yesterday that scared us all. She is out. She's not medically ready to go fly. So yeah, she's on gabapentin. She is out. She was there. She was sitting right here for the first part of the show, and then decided it was boring, and now she's out. But so last night, by the way, in case people are wondering, one of us is clean shaven, one of us is not. I wonder why. Because Gonky's on his one year vacation. It doesn't work.
No, what you say, man? I work every day, man. I do.
Anyway,
work.
The rest of us had to go to drill weekend this weekend.
Thank you for providing freedom, sir.
Therefore, all this. And I picked Luna up from the dog sitter. She seemed, I didn't notice anything. Go home, eat dinner, no problems. Doug and I began nerd ops, and Luna comes next to me up where I'm sitting and usually wants me to scratch her back. She just wants me to pet her. And I just touched her leg, and she screamed like I've never heard her scream before, like I had hit her. And so I ceased the stream and ended up, she was in total pain. She was panting, touched that spot, didn't know what was going on. So I took her to med vet, because that's not like her. And I didn't want it to be something worse. And med vet is a sad place, because as we were sitting in the lobby, somebody's saying goodbye to their dog, which, makes you think about when you say goodbye to your dogs. And the guy comes crying out, and I'm like, God, you just feel so bad for him, which is funny, because even in pain, Luna wanted to go comfort him. Right. She tried to pull to him, because that's her job in real life. And, but she was evaluated for, any breaks, sprains, tears. They did a physical exam, didn't find anything. Said it's a soft tissue injury of some sort. Gave her a shot and gave her some meds, and we've just been taking it easy. So she's on the mend, I think. If it gets worse, we're going to get x-rays. But for now, we're just kind of monitoring and evaluating and trying to see. You can actually see right now, the way she's sleeping is on the side that's hurting her. So I think that's a good sign, because it was on the left side. But anyway, that was her telling me I should not go to drill anymore. So her way of letting me know. But anyway, how was your weekend, Gonky? But thanks, JD, by the way. Sorry for meant to acknowledge that.
That's good, man. Finishing up our trip up here, you know, visiting, doing the family thing. And I mean, I can never get enough of family time.
Uh-oh.
Weird.
I thought Doug had come back, but that's wrong.
Probably not. No, we're getting ready to head back to Florida, and it's you know, it's a lot of work hauling the family around. So I've been working, man. The weather's not cooperating.
So the vacation's finally ending, and Gonky's going to be once again at work.
Dude, with Starlink, and hey, Starlink, if you would like to sponsor the show, we're available. But
correct.
With the Starlink, like I don't know what it is. My kids are getting older, but dude, I got up at 5 o'clock today and started working, and they didn't get out of bed till almost 10:30. So I got a lot of work done.
10:30?
Yeah, dude. That's why when you called this morning, I'm like, everyone's still sleeping. So yeah, terrible. So I mean, everybody else, you know, they're having a good time, which is great. And I can get work. And the only reason why I can do that, doing show stuff, military stuff, other stuff, is Starlink, man. It's awesome.
Wow. And Douglas, how are you? Muted.
Slow on the draw. I'm reasonably well. Good. I'll be 60 in 2 days. I don't know if that's news.
What?
Yeah.
60. What are you doing for the big 6-0?
Bought a car.
Nice.
When are we getting that thing? You get a delivery date?
18th to the 30th.
Oh, it slid.
I got a window. Yeah, it slid toward us a little.
No way. Wasn't it 11th through the something at one point?
It was 6 to 9 weeks.
Yeah. Awesome. From the audience, we've got Fortunate Father says it's the same in policing. Mental health used to be very stigmatized. Way better now after officer-involved shootings, other traumas. Cops would button up. Now even the most badass cops I know will reach out for help and check in. And I've seen that. You know, it's always funny to me when I take Luna out that the cops that I least expect to react to her are the ones that love her the most. You know, the ones that I'm like, oh, they're going to judge me and think that we're, you know, a waste of time, will interact with her and enjoy every minute of petting her. But they are proactive. I've talked about this when we had the murder-suicide. They would not let us leave the crime scene area until we talked to the team there, and they're trying to establish an even better team. So
I took police psychology from a guy who was on the forefront of that. They were just starting to talk about moving, you know, toward decreasing the stigma. And he said it was the same before, just nobody would talk about it. They were always coming to see him, but making it so that they would refer each other was a big deal.
Subi, and we're sorry, Subi, we didn't ask, but I actually know the answer to this. Is 7 whatever and Kratom off limits in commercial or military aviation? The answer is yes. And the reason I know that is because we covered that with the Growler mishap. Yep. That is definitely not approved, and it's not approved on the FAA side either. So, no. Spare Vessel says, does the pilot get 2 watches, 1 per wrist? Yeah. I mean, geez.
Perfect.
Paul says, what about TBI cat shot brain?
I should have asked, dude. That was my chance.
Yeah. Michael Hinn says, Mr. Gonky, I visited the Smithsonian Air and Space Museum today. Did they use your picture in the T-38 exhibit? Ooh, I don't know. Did they?
Hope not. Yeah.
Sparer says, hope for his sake the rule of 3 does not apply.
Oh, no kidding. No kidding.
Alec,
how are you? Double shot.
This is new call sign double shot.
Dude.
It's funny.
I love it.
Doug, if you find a currently confused country, but otherwise, thank you.
I think I did.
Oh, is that the one I just read?
Yeah, it might have been.
Oh, no, well, no. Here's one that's not starred that he followed up. Alex says, what's the maximum height to be a pilot? Because I met an F-18 pilot that was tall. I mean, tall. Ask him how you get in the plane. He said very carefully. I think 6'4" is the top. Yeah, but it's all anthropometrics. It's the.
And there's waivers. Like I mean,
not for that one.
You don't think so?
No, because they'll put you in a non-ejection seat aircraft. But dude, I knew a guy that was 6'4", And in the F-16, he could not wear Jehemics.
Oh,
like if we had gotten Jehemics, he wouldn't have been able to move his head at all. So I think that's kind of the upper part of it. Currently confused says pilots know parallax, right? I was watching the space station fly over and there was a flashing pill shape following it perfectly. There was no change in distance. Please explain, because I can't. Did it look like a big Johnson?
Sorry, man.
I cannot explain the unexplainable.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Man.
I mean,
I don't know how
Goodyear blimp
could be, or it could be, dude. When
Shadow?
the SpaceX or satellites fly,
Starlink
satellites.
Those are flashy lights, though. They're not pill shaped.
Yeah, man, I don't know.
It could be Starlink. Yeah,
could be. Yeah,
first time I saw this.
Yeah, I never seen it. My wife's like, "Oh, look at it! Look at them go!" And then they were all flying like formation,
like in a trail. Yeah.
I was like, "That's amazing."
Thomas says, "What? Luna Girl is med down. Scooby snacks for her." Yeah, I know, and it's killing both of us that we can't do our normal walks and run. Like my entire routine is ruined because it's all based around her. And when we walk and run, and now I'm like, well, what do you want? What do we do? I don't know what to do.
Sleep, apparently.
Yeah. And then Craig, thank you. Hey, look, space. Doug, if you can find something, please let me know. All right, moving on.
Hold on. One thing. Yesterday, it's worth mentioning because he was such a fan of the show, dude. Yesterday is the 2-year anniversary that we lost Frenchie.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. So John French, he was an Air Force F4 Wizzo.
Yeah.
I met him doing public affairs stuff in 2008 or 9. When I was flying Hornets, he was part of the Metal Militia, the military stuff. They'd come on the base and do shows. And we just struck up a friendship. One of the nicest guys I've ever met. Very giving. His whole family is. And Mover got to meet him when we were flying Hornets 204.
T-38s is where I met him.
No, San Diego. We had.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
That we went to the restaurant. That was the first time. You're right. I keep thinking about going to his awesome house where he had the models.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. So I mean, he was a huge fan of everything fighter, and unfortunately, he got a cancer diagnosis, and it took him a lot faster than. I mean, it was sad to see, but he was a huge fan of the show, huge fan of Mover's books, and I don't know. I can't believe it's been 2 years, man. Time just clicks by, and I
remember the last time I talked to him, man. He was always such a positive dude. Like even staring death in the face, he was still just not want to talk about himself. What's going on with you?
Yeah, and this, gosh, it's sad. So actually, I always do these Ohio trips the same time of year, and before I left 2 years ago for Ohio, he said he literally told me the doctors say he has weeks or months, and I'm like, well, I'm coming to see you before I go to Ohio, and I went, and he wasn't in great shape, but it's sad. I told him, I was like, hey, when I get back, we'll hang out again, and he passed while I was up here in Ohio, so it's just sad, man. I never got to see him again, but yeah, he was, man, anything fighter. I mean, he would tell you he prefers the family models. Frenchie's words, not mine, because he was a Wizzo.
He was the exception to the rule.
Correct. Yeah. So, but man, great family, and he's missed.
He's a good dude. Yeah. All right. Speaking of not great news, this is kind of horrific. So Gulfstream 200 crashed. Doug, probably stop it before. I would probably, yeah.
There-ish. It doesn't get better.
No.
Yeah. So go back to the beginning. There's another angle too.
Do you want the other angle?
No, we'll watch this real quick, and then so the Gulfstream 200. I don't. By now, the main gear has collapsed. It's in the median, I guess.
There goes.
And the engines are coming off, and it's going to hit a sign. There you go. It's going to hit the. I mean, it's just it breaks apart. It's not from hitting. It's from hitting the berm. I mean, it's going in the ditch. The aircraft breaks apart. The fuel goes everywhere, and that's not a survivable situation. Which people always talked about this with Jeju about, if they'd have not hit the thing off the end of the runway, would they have survived? And I say no, because aircraft. Oh my God.
Oh no.
I just said aircrafts. I know. Aircraft are not survivable off-roading. It is not a survivable situation, especially at higher speeds. And this is not even that high speed, but relatively speaking, compared to the Jeju crash. But this is another angle. Dude, I don't understand this. Gonky. And Doug, there's one more. Do you have the flight path?
Did it land in the grass, dude, or on the runway and come off the grass out into the grass?
It looks like it landed in the grass. Play it again. Play it one more time, Doug. Dude, it touches down in the grass. Now, whether it started on the runway and somehow ended up over there, but that is touchdown under control.
I mean,
in the grass.
We're well in the grass there in the end game.
Yeah, by here, if you go back to the other one, the main gear is still intact when it does that. Doug, the other one. There you go. It's kind of hard to see, but he's in the grass right there. And it's kind of touching down.
Yeah.
So I don't understand how we got to the grass.
What was the emergency?
It doesn't say, but Doug, you have the flight path?
I'm going to look for it.
They took off and had an emergency. It's in the chat.
Hydraulic malfunction.
Yeah, they had a malfunction. They burned down fuel. Like they're circling before they actually come back and land, and then this happens. So I don't know if they had like a flight control issue that they could just get it in the jet, like the
DC-10 Sioux City. Yeah,
right, where they just got it in the general vicinity, because it kind of looks like that mishap.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, both pilots perished in this crash. They were Americans on their way back to Austin, I think.
Yeah, I read something. They were picking up a former Major League football player or baseball player and his family.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It's strange that they would land in the grass or, shortly after touchdown, go in the grass, because big jets like that, they don't respond well to going off-roading. The fact that they were able to hold and burn down tells me, they at least had some sort of control of the airplane. But I don't know, man. You mentioned that airplanes, you can go off-roading in a business jet like this. The problem is when you start hitting signs and you start hitting embankments, that's when the airplane breaks apart. And unfortunately, jet fuel, if you take a flame to jet fuel, it's hard to get it to light. But if it disperses, turns into mist, and hits hot metal from the engines, it turns into a giant fireball, kind of like you see. So, and that's where it really becomes, a problem.
Here's the track. So they take off, and you can see they're working a problem here.
Yeah,
working a problem out here, or up here, I guess, depending on which one's the takeoff. But they work the problem, and then they work the problem some more, and then they come back, and they're landing downwind. Did you see the windsock?
Yeah,
They're opposite direction.
I think they didn't have good control of this airplane because, I mean, can that's a very disorganized holding pattern, right?
Right. I mean, I think they were fighting it.
Right.
I mean, obviously they're fighting it for them to end up in the grass, right? That's not a normal, like, that's not something you would do intentionally.
No, normally, I mean, a lot of times, correct me if I'm wrong, a lot of times biz jets, the avionics are like even more up to date than airliner stuff. And
it depends on the year, man. Some of them could be.
This was an 08, right? Or 05. It wasn't like old. It wasn't from the 70s or nothing.
318 Juliet Foxtrot.
So I only mention that because, I fly the Airbus, which I'm sure the ones I've flown are older than this jet. And if you're working a problem, the autopilot's flying it and it's holding generally at a fix close to the airport, or at least close. Yeah. Or at least close to.
But it could be a 6-pack. I mean, that's the thing. As an 04 could be glass. It could be a 6-pack. It just depends
on a Challenger?
On a
Gulfstream 200?
I mean, that's the lower end. I mean, it just depends on how they're configured.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand your point, though. I mean, it's still going to have, it's an RVSM aircraft, so it's going to have all the automation and all that stuff, too.
Yeah. I mean, that holding pattern looks like I was in my Cessna 152, like troubleshooting something. I'm just aimlessly droning around.
Well, if you remember back to the Citation Biffle crash, that also looked fairly erratic. And that's what happens when you are fighting an aircraft and either get behind it or, if it's a hydraulic, you probably didn't have the autopilot available.
Yeah, no, you're right. Probably maybe hand flying it. That flight path in my mind lends itself to something not right.
The whole thing is, something.
Well, yeah, of course. But I mean, it looks like there's flaps down, the gears down.
Yeah, if you only watch the one angle, it looks like the main gear wasn't down, but that's because it sheared. Mm-hmm. If you watch the longer video, it sheared when it hit the grass.
And I want to say it could be because the engine hit the grass, but it looked like thrust reversers were working. But I mean, they were moving, man. I mean, for as much distance as they went through the grass, they're the end game before they burst into flames. I mean, they were still moving pretty good. I don't know how long that runway was, but
well, I mean, obviously our thoughts are with the families.
Yeah, it's terrible.
That lost the pilots. That's just awful. We're having too many of these mishaps, but this one's kind of a hard one to watch in general. So,
I
mean, I'm sure I from what I understand, which is people were asking why the NTSB is going to investigate this one. But they usually assist on stuff. I don't know if they're going to take the lead or because sometimes they can be asked to take the lead, but they're going to.
They're American pilots.
Well, American registration too, I believe.
Right. Yeah, and number.
Yeah, the aircraft was registered in in the United States. Gulfstream 200. Yeah, it was to an LLC in Puerto Rico.
Yeah, well, yeah, Gulfstream's a U.S. company too. I mean, they'll probably be involved.
Yeah,
sad, dude.
Anyway, very, very sad. We got let's see, from the chat, we got Shook caught the end of the police mental health. I was Philly PD. They sent mental health professionals and a dog to our district after the plane crash.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Doug, if you find this from Richard, please let us know. And Rick's Place says had to land at slight angle to the runway because of the mech issues. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and also they were, I mean, downwind, right? So that's going to increase your everything. This was not a planned, doped out, this was a we need to get back on the ground situation. And whatever was going on in that airplane drove that decision.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, flight control could have been an issue.
Yep.
RM Nevada says, mover, no beard, hair high and tight. You getting recalled in the Marines. Love your guys' show. Thanks for doing it.
Thanks, man.
I'm still mad that I said aircrafts. How did I even? What's wrong with me?
Now you can't heckle the people that say.
I sure can, because they have caused this, Gonky. They have ruined me.
He's ruined the whole rest of the show for him, and they've ruined it too.
Yeah.
You're easily influenced, my friend.
I know. That's why I have this haircut. I was easily influenced into the military for some reason. What the hell happened? Hey, man. I put F-47 spotted, but it's actually Firefox. You must think in Russian. So this go out one. We want to make sure we give credit to the where it came from. New Area 51 posted this, but I think this is from an Area 51 YouTube channel, if I'm not mistaken. Project Fear. There you go. So let's watch the video, Douglas.
What is that? What is that? Dude, what is it? Do you see it, Connor?
Triangle. It's a triangle.
It's a triangle?
What
the Holy shit.
What is happening?
It's gonna go right over us, you guys. It's a huge ball of light.
What is that?
What the fuck? What am I looking at? Is that like a helicopter?
No. Let's mute it, please. This is not constructive whatsoever.
Looks like
it's got canards, Gonky.
Looks like a helicopter to me, Mover.
Yeah, well, they were seeing if you go to the post, the whatever this is, IR outline it's just a bright light.
Okay.
So that's why.
I got you.
They see it as a bright light through their NVGs or whatever, and then that's the cleaned up image of what it is.
Yeah.
But that's what your F-47 perhaps might look like. Or it could be something else. It could be the F-69. It could be Firefox. It could be that G.I. Joe thing I had when I was a kid that looks exactly like this.
Yeah.
It's got canards.
Could be Maverick going for Mach 11.
It doesn't look like it's going that fast.
No, he's coming back after a failed attempt.
It kind of looks like the Chinese, was it the White Dragon?
Yeah.
You know, their 6th gen looking thing. So maybe they stole one. Maybe this guy's thinking in Chinese as he's flying right now. You must think in Mandarin.
Well, dude, it's got the landing light on, right? I mean, it could have came from China, right?
With the gear up.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Well, we can't see the gear. I mean, the gear may be down and we just can't. So if they've improved one thing for our future tech, it's that we have the brightest landing light ever.
LED.
It's like the new cars. You know how new cars, they just get brighter and brighter and now you just can't see anymore. I love how they say no contrail because that's a function of.
He's not chemtrails are off for landing.
Yeah, well, of course they're always off for landing. You don't want to waste it. You don't crop dust your runway.
Yeah.
What do you think, Gonky?
I mean, if it's it's a real video, yeah. I mean, they saw something out there with canards flying. I don't know. It's kind of hard to gauge like size wise, but I don't know. It doesn't really look that fighterish. It looks.
That's what she said. Sorry,
I was waiting for that. I teed that up for you.
I was muted. I couldn't get. I couldn't get there.
I thought missed opportunity.
I was just muted. That's all.
To me, it looks kind of like an interceptor of sorts, right? It looks like it's a larger airplane. But I mean, dude, you're talking about we're just looking at a silhouette. No idea how far away it is or how large it is, so to speak. And I mean, it could be that. Look, there's canards.
It's this thing. It was the artist rendition.
Do you
look at it? It's got the canards, which everybody made fun of.
Yeah, it could be the F-47, man. I mean, it really could. I don't, maybe.
Could be this thing.
No, dude, the wing sweep is wrong. I mean, Firefox is valid. Right.
Could be Firefox.
Could be, yeah. No, but it could be the F-47, man. I mean, that thing. Yeah. I mean, they're testing new weapons all the time, right? And they got to fly it somewhere under secrecy. So
Must not be too secret if these guys are out there filming it.
Yeah, I mean, I like. I'm more curious.
There you go.
There you go. See, perfect, man.
This is a real thing. This is a MiG-31.
What? That's Firefox, isn't it? The MiG-31.
I know. Look at the thing. It says it's a MiG-31.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. To me, it looks kind of like an interceptor, man. I other than that, I mean, yeah, it's got big canards, delta wing, flies at night, and a really bright landing light.
Well, the problem with a video like this is that we have reached the point in fighter aviation where it doesn't matter what it looks like. It's what the internal, like, gee whiz nerd stuff is.
Yeah.
It like, I don't, what it because it's not going to dogfight. It's not, I mean, it might be able to do 20 Gs and
3 Gs.
whatever. But realistically, it's what weapons does it have? What can it carry? What sensors does it have? And how detectable is it? After that, and you're never going to know because it's all classified. All we can look at it. My question to you, Gonky, on this channel right now, on 6/8 in the year of our Lord 2026, almost 6/9. Is it better looking than Fat Amy? Yes or no?
Yes.
Would you fly it before you would fly Obese Amelia? Yes or no?
Of course, dude. Listen, I'm superficial, man.
Could you see yourself getting out with Kelly McGillis in that or Fat Amy?
What year, Kelly McGillis? Let's be honest, dude.
Well,
if it's yeah. Dude, I don't know. I think it's good. You know, if you have canards that large up front, right? If this is a manned airplane, and unless you can see through the structure
or womaned,
whatever. if this is a human occupied flying machine with canards that big, I mean, that's, you know, hopefully nobody.
They didn't have tails.
Well, hopefully nobody shoots at you from the ground because you're not going to see them.
You don't need to because the thing's got enough sensors to see into the future.
Well, that's great, but sometimes that stuff doesn't work, and there's all kinds of end game scenarios, and there's future weapons, right? So I think visibility is an issue. I mean, canard aircraft have all kinds of advantages aerodynamically, but then they also have disadvantages, right? Aircraft design is a compromise. So when I see an aircraft like that, that's why I said interceptor. I'm like, this thing, it looks large, probably carries a lot of weapons internal, and they don't care if they can't really see that well because the thing hauls the mail for a long time.
Could it be the Navy's new Tomcat too?
Maybe. Yeah. I mean, I don't
know. You know, the whatever the like the fly off is, because no one will ever announce it. The FAXX.
Yeah. But maybe it is the FAXX. I don't know. But you know, that when I saw that thing, I'm like, man, there's no way if they're shooting at you from the ground, you probably best be inverted so you can see.
Well, and that's the problem, because these dudes with the cameras in the desert found it.
Exactly, right?
It's not invisible.
Well, dude.
But in fairness, they thought it was a helicopter. So
an F-35 took a hit in Iran. Right. So, I mean, at least like modern aircraft can.
Yeah, but this one's 12 better.
It's 12 better.
And a whole other generation.
It's 12 better. Yeah.
It's like the C7 versus the C8. You know what I mean? I mean, it's just one better.
Yeah. Not always though, right? I mean,
I'm just saying. The math is the way it is. I can't help you up beyond that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Gonky, for your insight and
expert analysis. Yes.
Yes. This ain't the news or nothing. Corvette World Rob says, reminds me of the X36. Nope, wrong one. I thought Doug was on a kick. It looked like in the preview, it looked like Firefox when it landed on the ice. Spoiler alert. You know when he lands and the submarine refuels him?
Oh, dude, of course.
Yeah. I am on a kick. Go ahead.
Oh, he is. Look, there you go.
Yeah. Yeah. See, there they got the canopy out in front of the canards. It's a thing.
Yeah, that one didn't look like that.
I swear that has faces drawn on the canopy.
It might.
It does.
That's some engineer sick joke.
It's probably some country's flag, as I was told that the smiley face is the official symbol of Sweden and not just emojis. Got really mad Swedes in the comment section.
Dude, yeah, we trigger people. It's fine.
Full Afterburner says, cool helicopter.
Mm-hmm.
HD Kraut says, aircraft have feelings too. I'm not going to say it. New Area 51. See? And we credited him, although he credited them. So we're in the credit of the credit. It was the aliens.
Okay. I mean,
now, see, New Area 51 is on Facebook, or sorry, X. He has all the cool stuff, and he likes Airwolf. He's a helicopter guy.
Good.
That's all. I'm just going to give props to the man or woman or whatever helicopter person. Our pilot says, Collings F4 returned to flight today. Want to fly it?
Yes.
Yeah. Are you offering? Do you know him?
Yes.
I feel like if you were a Collings person, you would offer more than $2.
What I meant to say was thank you.
After flying the F4, you wouldn't have that. I'm just saying it doesn't pay to the
bullying and poor shaming.
I'm saying that if it were a legitimate Collings Foundation person,
yeah,
yeah.
Do I send the application to the email? Like, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Which now we're for sure not doing it. Spare Vessel says, have you heard of Qantas Flight 32, which was an A380, which suffered an engine failure, which at least partially damaged all but one system on the plane?
Yes. I did hear it.
Really?
They successfully landed. Yeah. And they stopped within I think 2 feet of the end of the runway.
What was the one system that worked?
Brakes. I don't know. It was an Airbus. So one of the blue, green, or yellow or whatever. But yeah, it was pretty amazing.
Did you do that, Doug?
Affirmative. It's the rest
the
of the story.
aircraft had over 50 ECAM system warnings, held for 2 hours before successfully landing with no casualties. 469. Nice.
Yeah.
People were on board at the time.
Pretty amazing. Yeah.
Wow. Officer Big Mac says, recommend watching the whole Project Fear video. Very interesting what they see all week. They were there. Yeah. Corvette World Rob says it could be the F-19 finally brought to life. Don't know what's the F-19?
One after the 18. Right.
3 after the Viper.
3.
1 below the F-20. Spider says it's the Aurora.
Okay. It might.
Full Afterburner says that MiG-31 looks like a donkey with wings. It's not me. Triangles are lame.
That's funny.
Nolan's Grammy says you don't have. Oh, damn it. I'm going to read it anyway. We love Luna Bell and want her to heal fast. She's needed to keep Mover on schedule. Yeah,
Mover reads everything on the screen.
I can't not. I have to.
He's like Ron Burgundy.
Yes.
He just reads everything.
I have no filter whatsoever. Tic Tac's got my back says, in the game of saucers, triangles, and Tic Tacs, my money's on a Tic Tac.
Yeah.
Corvette World Rob says, Gonky said future weapons. That was an awesome show. Tom says for Luna Treats. Love the show, guys. Tomcat.
Tomcats. Look at that, dude.
Cozy says, or Kez Sozy says, suspiciously like Firefox.
Yep.
Chow Adams. If newer was better than older and C8 better than C7, then Mover would still have a C8, right?
You can't get the C8 in a manual. I mean,
I ran out of garage space.
Yeah.
Spare says system working was oxygen, but we're below 10,000 feet. All right. Speaking of airliners with problems, this 787 is having a bad day. Just hanging out, and the nose gear collapsed.
Oh, dude. Wow.
Doink. Bow to your sensei. I'll tell you what, man, they're lucky they weren't boarding, because anybody, you know how people like to straddle the jet bridge and the actual aircraft?
Dude, boarding or working under it or walking under it?
I think there was a baggage dude down there that almost got schwagged. Look, see his...
I mean, the door, look, the cargo door almost hits the baggage guy.
Yeah. Oh, dude, if he'd have gotten, I mean, that's a heavy door.
It's attached to an even heavier airplane.
That's what I'm saying. That's a lot of weight. He was right out of the way.
Can you imagine like being the FO in there doing like the pre-flight checks, and this happens? The captain's like, what did you touch?
Yeah.
You know, dude, they're in there going like this with the gear handle.
Yeah, they are holding the gear, like pushing it down.
It's down. Yeah.
Honestly, dude, I don't know how this happened, but apparently it's not the first time.
Dude, I think this is some sort of MCAS malfunction. Like 7/8's like must go down.
There were employees injured.
Oh, that's not good.
Several employees were injured on Thursday after the nose gear of a Boeing jet collapsed while the aircraft was parked at a gate at Frankfurt. Only crew members and ground staff were on board the 787-9. Front tip of the plane crashed to the ground ahead of passenger boarding for a flight to Los Angeles. The flight was later canceled.
Yeah.
Several employees were injured and are currently receiving medical attention. It was a year old and was just over a year old, delivered to Lufthansa in January, one of the newest additions to the wide-body fleet. It had flown 137 flights. Boeing is aware of the incident, supporting our customer. Video footage from the scene appears to show the front wheels of the aircraft sliding forward and their plane's nose falling several meters. The door to the gear bay broke off upon impact. Jeff Guzzetti, former investigator, said it's very unusual.
Yes.
That's his expert quote.
Are the doors supposed to be open on the 7/8 when it's sitting there?
Here's where it is. 2021 incident at London Heathrow also involved the nose gear of a 787. According to the report, UK's Air Accidents Investigation Branch, a 787-8 was undergoing maintenance at a gate when its nose landing gear retracted during testing, causing the aircraft's nose to drop on the pavement. They found that the locking pin intended to prevent retraction had been inserted into the wrong position, allowing the gear to fold despite safeguards designed to keep it extended.
Were they doing maintenance here and the same thing happened?
No, they don't look like, doesn't look like they were doing maintenance. But yeah, the doors are open.
So the doors are open when you're pre-flighting?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, dude.
I think so. Been a minute since I pre-flighted one, but
can you imagine? Like,
now the doors are really open.
They're really, yeah.
This is not a pilot thing. I don't have any idea.
They could be up in the cockpit doing maintenance stuff because these modern airliners, like, I don't know, even the Skybus, dude, they come into the cockpit. It's like they punch in a little thing. They start talking to the jet.
No, it's a laptop, dude. They connect the laptop on this jet.
That's even newer jets, right? Yeah. And they start doing their diagnosticing and fixing from there. And maybe they have the pin in the wrong.
Pin. Yeah.
I saw a picture of the 7/8 nose gear, and there are two holes. One of them is for the pin and one of them is not. And they do look very similar. And I could see how it would be easy to make that mistake. But again, I don't know if they're doing maintenance or not.
You need other factors to get it to retract. Like, it shouldn't just collapse. Right. It doesn't need the pin to keep it, because you take the pin out to taxi around. So
right. When you walk up to any airplane I've ever flown, you walk up to it, if there's pins in it, number one, it shouldn't be probably, or you remove them. Because like you said, you get ready to go flying, you don't want the pins in it.
Yeah, you'd like it to retract when you're airborne.
Correct.
Yeah.
Or you
They're lucky. They are very lucky this was not during boarding.
During boarding, like I said, people underneath it. I mean, dude, the engine's almost tagging around. I mean, like there's, the cargo door almost hits.
Do they not? Play it again.
Look at the engines, man. They almost hit the ground.
Play it again, Doug. They hit.
Oh, dude.
No, they do hit.
Oh, that's expensive. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. No, at least the left one hits.
Oh, man. Yeah. Dang, dude. Yeah, that's a bad day at Lufthansa. Yeah. I'm sure we're going to find out. I mean, Boeing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not suicidal or nothing, but man, Boeing's got some that's very strange.
I don't know.
I don't know either, dude.
Gonky, do you number your engines? Is it 1 and 2?
Are you like in airplanes?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So we talk about you never read the comments. We had a commenter say that on 2-engine aircraft, you never number them. It's only 3 engines or more that they're numbered. And I'm like, I've always called them 1 and 2.
Literally, they tell us clear to start engine 1. Like
you do the 1 for this and the 2 for this when you're
correct. Yeah, like
3 for the APU.
And then the captain tells me start engine 1.
Right. Start 1 and 2.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, maybe the flying machine he flies, they don't do that. I don't know.
No, he said that it was only 3+ engine aircraft that you number them.
Well, the Airbus has 3 jet engines on board, 2 on the wing and 1 in the tail, the APU.
We don't number the F-16 engines.
Let's hope not. I mean, it's just the engine, right? Or is it engine?
Did we do this for starting the JFS? Now I can't remember now.
No, it's right. You start everything.
Actually, we didn't do hand signals because in the Air Force, we talked to our crew chief on comms.
That's true.
And it's like, hey, Joe, how you doing today? All right, you ready to start this thing? Oh, yeah, let's go ahead and crank her up.
Really? Yeah. Oh, dude.
Yeah. Not like the Navy.
Yeah. We like to keep the crew chief running around in the Navy. So
F-19 was referenced in Tom Clancy's HFTRO follow-up Red Storm Rising as the stealth fighter in a fold to gap type engagement. Meow, nicknamed the Frisbee. Feel better, Luna. Thank you. Spare Vessel says, can they flick the lever again so it goes back up? I don't know that it.
I'm sure the lever's down. I'm sure the handle never moved up. It was always down because the mains are up. Or I'm sorry, the mains are down.
I mean, it locks. I mean, it's over center lock, so you have to override the lock. Yeah. Holly Movie Star says, I wonder if Janet Airlines shares patterns with Alien. Oh. Dude, the aliens are not there. If anywhere, they're in Florida.
I'll tell you when I get there.
Yeah. BRVT, that's why everything they talk about Florida Man, because they're doing their experiments on Florida Man to make him do the stuff that he does. Although in Louisiana today or yesterday, we had a guy, not here, but in Louisiana, flee from Louisiana State Police, and he wound up getting attacked by an alligator.
I mean, is he okay? Or did he cease to?
No, he lived, but he was drunk and fled police and then took off on foot into the swamp, and the alligator got him.
Well, I mean,
it's our new canine division.
Justice is served.
K-10. Yeah.
Wow.
Mach says, greetings from flight level 330. That's 33,000 feet for you peasants.
Look at that.
Internet working, deadheading home, but shaved and didn't forget how to operate an aircraft. Did you see the CH-53 German here demo?
Wow.
Yes, I did, actually.
Thanks, Mach. Look at you, man. Working today.
JD is here, says low riding in the airlines is now a thing. That's the inverse California squat.
Yeah, not a good
Or
look.
Carolina squad, sorry.
Yeah.
Gunnar Sar says, Mover reads everything. Gonky's the better pilot. I'm Ron Burgundy.
Oh, that's funny.
Sorry, Luna.
Yeah. Perfect. I love it. Worth all of $5.
She's right here. She's
Oh,
up.
look at that.
She's
Good.
up.
Good.
All right. So let's see. Thomas says a 787 saw Fat Amy landing in distant and got jealous. Midnight Owl says, what was that start 3 signal again, Mover?
3, right? I don't know.
Yeah, it's people being stupid because apparently in the internet memedom now everything is Nazi and Hitler.
What do you do in DCS world? That's the real question.
Hot start
Hot
where
start.
it's already ready.
I got you. At the end of the runway, engines running,
Yeah.
flap set, trim set. Gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah, because apparently this can't be 3 because it's a gang sign of some sort for the Nazis.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is also like the whole thing is 3 like
Yeah.
people are
I
stupid.
get it, dude. I get it.
I get everything is Hitler now. Isn't that Doug, what was that rule where everything devoids into a Hitler thing?
Oh yeah, I need to look that up.
Something's law.
I mentioned it. I'm afraid to
Yeah.
mention it now.
Blake Dot says Tomcats meow.
Meow.
Sad news, Gonky. Final public flight for the Marine Corps legendary Harrier jet. The Harrier didn't need an airfield. All it needed was a Marine flying it. There it is.
Or Arnold.
Or Arnold.
Yes.
Operating as Harry.
That's right.
A flight of Marine Aviate-B Harrier 2's ground attack jets can take off and land vertically. Will make a final public flight this week to mark the aircraft's retirement after more than 5 decades. Really?
Dude,
50
wild.
years?
That's
The
wild.
ceremony on Wednesday will include a flyover. What's the date on this, Doug? Because I think this already happened. June 2nd.
Last week. Wow.
Yeah, so it's already done its final flight. But yeah, so it's done its final flight now, and they are no more. 1971. Is that 50 years ago? Really?
Yeah.
Came from the Brits. Remember that you could also get one in the Pepsi Challenge.
A what?
A Harrier. They were giving them away. So not just the Marines, but also the Brits and the Pepsi Challenge guy and that civilian guy that bought like 3 of them and then sold them. They were on controller.com for a while.
Yeah, the American guy, the construction
Yeah.
dude who bought them. Yeah. I don't think anybody else is flying them in the world, right? Because the Brits don't fly them anymore. I think we were the last, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It could do that thing where it would move you ever fight one?
No.
I think they call it viffing or whatever, where they would get one good bat turn with the nozzles. It'd swing the nozzles and turn. And dude, it was kind of eye watering. The thing was fairly maneuverable for what it was. Didn't help him, but it was pretty cool to watch before I gunned him.
Yeah, dude, the Harrier is one of those jets where, I mean, I make fun of vertical takeoff stuff now because I'm older and wiser. But as a kid growing up, I always thought the Harrier was really cool. Something about a fighter jet that can act like a helicopter. But it's a sign of the times, man. Listen, Mover, all the jets that we grew up with are slowly, being retired and, off to the new and better. So the Marines now have the F-35 vertical takeoff and landing. Thank you, Marines, for doing that. And, no more Harriers, dude. I still think it's a cool looking jet. I wouldn't want to fly it, but I still think it's a cool looking jet. I had a couple of IPs in Kingsville, Marine IPs in Kingsville when I was a student there who flew it, and they were always cool dudes. They were fun to talk to. I mean, totally different.
Yeah,
You know,
I mean,
totally
we've
different
interviewed a
experience.
Harrier pilot.
Yeah, because
Great
everybody always talks about landing on a boat in a fighter jet, like I did it, right? F-18, Fresnel lens and all that, but it's a completely different way of doing it with a Harrier takeoff as well. So, I mean, I always enjoyed listening to their stories, and they had a very unique airplane and they had some really unique stories. So, yeah, sad to see it go, man.
And a workhorse. I mean, it was a cast platform for the Marines. The only downside is, that little baby carrier.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, that would kind of suck too. Yeah,
and I always thought it was funny. I mean, Marine Hornet guys obviously really dumped on the Harrier guys. Some of them wore the patch, it said "Scary or Stop the Madness" and had a picture of a Harrier. So because that airplane did, I think it had a. Somebody could look up the stats, but I think it definitely killed a lot of people. It was a bit of a tricky airplane to fly. So, because I mean, that thing 1971, the technology nowadays is a lot more better.
Well, now Fat Amy does all of it for you.
Correct. Yeah. They brought early on. They brought I got to sit in the Fat Amy sim and do like a vertical takeoff and stuff, and it was easy. They walked me through to like press this, kid. Okay, push up on the thrust or throttle, and we were gone. But
it's the transition, where you're not sure if you're an airplane, not sure if you're a helicopter.
Probably shouldn't be there.
So Douglas says 150 Class A mishaps with more than 40 pilot deaths.
How many? I wonder how many the Marines had. But
I don't know. That's Doug AI right there telling us that.
Yeah.
Let's see. Nothing commented on this article, so we'll go in order. Midnight Owl says, wasn't thinking that mover. It was the movement you did with it. How else are you going to?
Okay.
Guys, I don't know. Mark, thank you. Doug, if you find something better, let me know. Sparrow says the Spanish Navy still flies them.
Really? The Spanish Navy flies Harriers? I didn't know that. So they bought the Hornet. Spain bought the Hornet and the Harrier? I mean, does
the Italian Navy 1991 to present? The Spanish Navy 1987 to present.
Really? My gosh, dude. Well, hey, look.
During its service with the Marines, the Harrier has had an accident rate 3 times that of the F-18s. As of July 2013, approximately 110 had been damaged beyond repair since the type entered service in 1985.
Yeah.
In 2003, the Times reported the Harrier had the highest rate of major accidents among military aircraft in service at the time, with 148 accidents and 45 people killed.
Yeah.
Wow. Accidents have been connected to proportional amount of time the aircraft spends taking off and landing, which are the most critical phases of flight. It's dubbed the Widowmaker by some in the military. It shows that senior officers never understood the uniqueness of the aircraft. Cutbacks in senior maintenance personnel and pilot mistakes had a disastrous effect on safety. The guy we interviewed talked about that, right? About they sent them deploy and they were taking parts from one jet to make another jet.
Yep.
Things got 23,500 pounds of thrust in one engine.
That's quite a bit, man, for no afterburner.
Yeah.
I mean, a jet that old.
As part of its 1996 Pepsi Stuff marketing campaign, Pepsi ran an advertisement promising a Harrier jet to anyone who collected 7 million Pepsi points, a gag that backfired when a participant attempted to take advantage of the ability to buy additional points for 10 cents each to claim a jet for $700,000. When Pepsi turned him down, a lawsuit ensued in which the judge ruled that any reasonable person would conclude that the advertisement was a joke.
Oh, dude. Translation: Pepsi had more money than you, so you lost the fight.
Yeah. So the Italian Navy and the Spanish Navy are the only remaining operators.
I didn't know that, man.
First flight was in 1978.
Yeah.
Retired 3 June 2026 for the Marines.
That's the year I was born, 78. Look at that, dude.
You also should be retired.
I should probably be retired.
Ozymandias says Harrier was so cool. Pepsi offered one back in the 90s. If you had no Pepsi points, there's a lawsuit about this commercial. There you go. Warhorse says Harrier was so cool, even Arnold could fly it.
Yeah. I mean, that was the 90s, man. I was in high school and that movie came out, and even though I was like, man, the Harrier is awesome.
I lived in Miami then. We used to go down and look at it hanging off the crane while they were filming.
Really?
Yeah, it hung there for I think like a week.
Dude, how high? So how high did they have it craned up?
It was up at the top of the building.
Really?
Yeah, I forget which building. It was some bank building.
Oh, wow. So they probably had stunt guys out there really
very
doing that.
high.
Wow.
Dana!
Yeah.
Ozymandias says, how worried are you about bogus parts when it comes to aircraft maintenance? New York Times article from 2024, FAA investigating how questionable titanium got into Boeing and Airbus jets. I'm not worried because there's nothing I can do about it.
Right. Same. I mean, in aviation, especially for sure in the military, but there's a certain level of trust you have as a pilot with your maintainers and vice versa. And really, your maintainers aren't going to, that's kind of a supply. That's more of a supply logistics issue if you're talking about the quality of the parts. Because maintenance, they order the parts, they show up, and maintenance does what they do to get the airplane flying. But like Mover said, not really a lot you can do about it.
Classic American pilots forgetting the Spanish, and I honestly forget they exist most of the time. When have you ever seen them out doing anything?
Yeah, sorry, man. Like I just
help out a little, bro. We're in a war right now. You can send one of them out. What would you say you do with that Navy?
Yeah. No disrespect. You never see. I mean, like Mover said, you never see it in the news.
Never hear them in the news. What do they do with them? Do they just in their bathtub? Like, what are you? Yeah. Breaking news, Europe's Future Combat Air System, FCAS program apparently has collapsed after France and Germany agreed to end development on it.
Yeah. God, dude, it's probably the price tag.
And Bed, Knobs, and Broom says, F4 was awesome, double ugly, brought my uncle home, blame the alligator, paw protection, tarmac burns, been there.
Yeah.
Well, I blame the guy who got a DUI. Perhaps. New small country joke. You have Harriers? Ozymandias says, he meant the supply chain issue. Sorry, not maintainers. No, I get it. I have no control and no way to check. So I have to just compartmentalize that and pretend like I don't know or care because there's nothing I can do about it and just hope that part doesn't fail.
Correct.
But also Boeing. Anything else you want to say on that?
No, dude, I agree 100%, man. There's not, I'm not going to go out and, tear apart the whole airplane. Checking that stuff. You can't do that.
All right, Gonky, I'm going to let you cover this one.
What is it? What do we got?
Since you're a resident airline expert.
Oh my gosh, dude. Yeah. Pull up the article. Doug, if you click on
the report.
Yeah. So here, dude, here's the preliminary report for the Boeing 767 that clipped the.
Actually hit the light pole, not the actual tractor trailer. We were wrong.
Do you know they hit both? They hit a light pole and a truck, right? Oh, look at that. All right. Yeah. So May 3rd, 2026. About 13:50 Eastern, a Boeing 767 United Boeing 767 struck a light pole on the New Jersey Turnpike while on final approach to runway 29 at Liberty Airport in Newark. Debris from the light pole subsequently impacted a tractor trailer traveling southbound on New Jersey Turnpike. Airplane landed, taxied the gate without incident. 3 flight crew members, 8 cabin crew members, and turned 20 passengers deplaned at the gate without injury. The driver of the tractor trailer sustained minor injuries. Damage to the airplane was substantial. It's got a whole. This thing's 11 pages long, but scroll down a little bit more, Doug. Keep going. All right. Here's what surprised me. Scroll up again to crew experience. So the flight times of the 3 flight crew members were as follows. The captain had 2,700 hours in the 7.5 and 7.6 with 378 hours as captain. So kind of a newer captain. The first officer had 1,958 hours, so under 2,000 hours. The relief officer had 853 hours in the 7.5 and 7.6. Total time of the United, the captain had 16,300 hours. 5,200 as captain, and over 11,000 as first officer. The first officer had 1,958 hours, so under 2,000 hours, and the release officer had 1,000 hours. Note the flight. What?
Why is this important?
Dude, like at United, first officer with 1,900 hours total.
It says it's their United time.
Dude, I read that wrong. I thought that was their total time. Is that right?
Yeah, it's their time at United and does not include their time before being hired at United.
So both about a year then. Well, no, the FO would be there about 2 years. The relief.
I mean, it's a new hire airplane, so
yeah.
You know.
Yeah, so because I'm just like I can't read. So, but still, so kind of 378 hours as captain, so that's less than a year, right? Being a captain, and then first officer probably about 2 years, and the relief captain the relief FO is at about a year. So, and then the runway they're landing on is kind of short, which we covered when we covered this. So, the flight crew is originally scheduled to depart 1 May and a 7.5 from Newark to fly to Shannon Airport in Ireland and back to Newark. However, the flight crew was reassigned by crew scheduling in a different airplane. So they got reassigned for a different trip in a different airplane, even though the 7.5 and 7.6 both share, right, the same type rating. The first officer was flying. Scroll down, Doug. So it looks like the approach, there's a, not for navigation. Yeah, there's a copy of the approach. So there's really nothing. I read through this. There's really nothing of note prior to.
Oh no. Scroll up. They get runway changes, dude.
I mean, with regards to how they flew the airplane.
Yeah, but that's the problem, right? Is so they get the first officer was pilot flying on outbound, so the captain's flying on the inbound. Everything on the flight was normal until descent. They planned to land on 4 right, but were changed to 2-2 left during descent, then asked to prepare for holding while the airport arrival and departure pattern was changed. However, they did not have to hold. They slowed to 250 knots in anticipation of holding. Then the runway was changed again, this time to runway 29. They were then given the RNAV Whiskey runway 29 approach. Dude, that is a cockpit fire. There is a lot of crap. That's a lot of runway changes, as you know, entering the box, trying to get everything set up. This has changed again. We're going to hold. No, we're going to hold. Let's exit the hold. You know, dude, I'm not excusing anything, but I'm saying there's a lot going on right here.
I mean, you're right. There's a lot going on, but it seemed like they handled it. And I mean, I've had that scenario happen like under 10,000 feet, and then it's a helmet fire. And then I've had that scenario happen out at range where I can hold and do it, and it's a nuisance at that point because you have the time, to do it. But and like we mentioned before, man, 2.9 is really weird. I've been into Newark. I mean, I've been flying big jets for 7 years now, and I've never landed 2.9. It's always 2-2 left or right, 4 left or right. But apparently the winds this day favored 2.9. Scroll down, Doug. Yeah, keep going, dude. All right. Hold on here. Scroll back up. Okay. Scroll up again. So now they're actually starting to fly the approach. So the captain stated that he turned off the autopilot and auto throttles at approximately 880 feet around the point axle. He said that he got fast while he turned the airplane onto the headwind and pulled the power levers back to compensate. The airplane shortly returned to a stable airspeed, even though the wind gusts were producing moderate turbulence. That's normal. Captain stated he heard the first officer call out airspeed slow while on short final inside a half a mile. He mentioned he did not receive any wind shear alerts, and he always felt the airplane was in a safe position to land. He responded to the automated 500-foot call out with the statement as stable, which also is normal. At 500 feet, the FO stated they were on speed, on profile, as the captain was maintaining his planned profile of 3 red, 1 white on the PAPI. Once again, the CVR did not capture any discussion of the PAPI lights for runway 29 prior to landing. Additionally, the captain, as the pilot flying, was looking outside the airplane, and the first officer, as the pilot monitoring, was more committed to being inside the airplane looking for trends. So it looks like they did have some visual cues, which when I first heard this incident, I was like, man, how could you not follow the PAPIs? But so they descended, the airspeed began to decay. The FO recalled that he stated, hey, you're slow, followed moments later by, you are still slow and a little low. The pilot monitoring looked back outside. At that point, recall, I thought we were low. However, they were just about to touch down. He didn't process the information in time to get a go-around call-out verbalized. The aircraft landed, taxied the gate, all passenger crews deplane. The captain stated that just before touchdown, he heard a thump, and the FO recalled feeling a mild jolt as they neared the threshold. The relief officer stated he heard an audible thump as they went over the airport boundary a second or two before landing. After the flight landed, the person called the flight deck and said the aft flight attendants heard a loud bang prior to landing.
Bubbles in the back.
Yeah. After parking at the gate, the captain went outside to assess the airplane and found damage that along the aft fuselage.
Oh, dude, he was like,
oh, dude, he's like, I had 300 hours. I'm done. Figures 2 and 3 show accident and flight track. They are nav approach. Figure 4. Okay, yeah, scroll down. Let's see these figures. So there it is. Nothing abnormal there. He's just, they're letting the airplane fly the arrival and the approach. Scroll down some more. Doug, this is interesting here. So, mover is 50 feet over the threshold, right? Typically, right?
Threshold crossing height is 48 feet, something like that.
Yeah. So you can see like way out here. So on the other side of the highway, they're at 48 feet and continuing to descend. So, I mean, dude,
they hit a 15-foot high light post.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. So, man, they're out there. I would say, I mean, they're a quarter mile from landing and they're at 48 feet. And dude, I mean, they basically flatten out at about 15 feet and drive it in and land, see a touchdown. So they're over there at the,
I mean, they touched down in the zone.
Yeah. All right. They landed in the touchdown zone. That's right. But I mean, that's not a 3 degree glide slope for sure. So let's see. Note the turnpike is 5 feet higher than runway, and altitude is depicted as height above ground. Yeah. So that's why, like Mover said, they hit a 15-foot light pole. So scroll down. Yeah. Here's your, yeah. I mean, dude, this is all, yeah. Scroll down. Altitude, speed. They got slow and low. Scroll down some more.
Wait, what was the wind? Go up.
The winds were
19 gusts 30.
19 gusts 30, yeah. At 290, yeah, so right down the pipe. So, I mean, honestly, the winds shouldn't have been an issue as far as maintaining control of the airplane. I mean, a 10-knot gust in an airplane that big, right down the pipe. Other than being a short runway, it should have been a normal sight picture for them, no yaw or anything crazy like that. Scroll down. I don't know. Keep going. I can't remember. Let's see. Yeah, RNAV 29, nothing special there. That's a little short. Keep scrolling. Airplane. Hold on. The airplane and tractor trailer examination. On site examination, the airplane revealed 3 punctures to the left lower aft fuselage. The damage runs from the fuselage stations, whatever those are, and between stringers 271. Okay, the forward puncture is about 6. So wow, dude. So that went through the airplane. Middle puncture was about 46 inches long, 4 inches wide, and the aft puncture was 8.5 feet long, 1 inch wide. Before the damage areas, there was also 2 dents and creases in the skins. Total size of the holes was larger than the outflow valve, and the damage affected all 3 elements of the fuselage structure, making the damage to the airplane substantial. The number 1 tire on the left main landing gear had evidence of slash marks. See figure 7. Scroll down. Wow, man, look at that. Oh, dude. Did it blow the tire? Can't remember. Look at that. Right through the Michelin. Keep scrolling. Hold on. Let's see the damaged tractor trailer. Scroll up a little bit more. Tractor trailer is struck by the light pole, had damaged the windshield side of the tractor. The windshield appeared to have impact damage and was impact damage. And there were impact marks on the forward upper left corner of the trailer. The punctures in the aluminum siding, and one major puncture was on the front face of the trailer. And the second puncture was minor and on the left forward side of the trailer. There's no evidence of tire marks on either of the tractor, cab, or trailer. So it looks like the aircraft actually didn't strike it. It was the, like you said, man, it was the pole. Would you look at the windshield of that thing? Man, this guy's lucky. He's
it's a perfect silhouette of a light pole.
It literally is. It's like right across the. Scroll down a little bit. Keep going. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, keep going. I don't know, Mover. Based on that, I mean, based on the trajectory there that they did with Google Earth, man, I mean, to me, it just looks like they just drug it in and hit, just made a mistake. But what do you think?
Well, one of the things they talk about, I don't know if you mentioned it, when they interviewed them, they were talking about the gust, right? Because they were like, yeah, we were talking about the gust, and I didn't know if wind shear was a factor or whatever. It's interesting to me, and this is something that might be airline specific. I've only flown 2 Boeing jets, but both the 7.3 and the 7.8 in training, we were trained to leave the auto throttles on the whole time. You could move them. I mean, we would move them to idle with, if you wanted a little early, or if you wanted to fix your flare or something like that, or that would be the only time you'd manipulate the throttles. Obviously, your hand's on it the whole time. But the reason for that, and the reason why I left them on, is because, we set VREF +5, right, for your speed. And the auto throttle does a pretty good job. Now, I don't know about a 7.6-400, but I'm pretty sure it's new. It's probably very similar because the 7.3 and the 7.8. I mean, Boeing does a lot of commonality. The 7.8 was the same way. I mean, we only turned the auto throttle off as part of a, hey, let's see it, whatever. The reason for that is VREF +5, you don't have to add gust factors and all that stuff because the jet is pretty smart. When you turn it off, you actually have to add the gust factor. I don't remember how much you add, but you have to add that because you have to stay ahead of it. It sounds like he got behind, or she, or the captain got behind on the throttle, because if you look at on the report itself, if you look at where the throttle is and the airspeed and the airspeed decay, they go from stable at 500. They're a little fast. They trade the high for the low, right? They go fast to slow. And as they're doing it, you're settling in to that 3 red, 1 white. 3 red, 1 white on that runway is very drug in. But I would not be surprised if there's some, we didn't have enough gust factor in. And, that's what caused us to get a little slow and a little low. Because, it's you didn't have much room for error in the first place on that approach.
Yeah, I mean, those are Boeing specifics that I don't really know of, but
yeah, you see the throttles there. I mean, so throttle versus speed. The speed control. Scroll up a little bit, Doug. Which one's the speed? So the FDR airspeed is the purple, and you can see the little dip as they're getting in close.
But Mover, in the Boeing, okay, you're talking about his thrust throttle settings here.
You can see that the dip corresponds. See the 2 dips? So as his throttle is high and he chops the throttle, he gets slow and then pushes him way back up because he sees himself getting slow. And I think there's a gust factor in there. But anyway, your question. Sorry.
I mean, tell me if the Boeing's like this in the sky busty when you're coming in, like, I mean, the rat out starts talking to you.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I mean, when they were a quarter of a mile back from the runway, at 48 feet, I mean, would it have said 50?
Mm-hmm. If the radar altimeter or the JIP was wherever it's whatever data it's pulling from, yeah, it'll say 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Right. And then, I mean, I know in the sky bus at 30 feet, that's kind of when I start doing my monkey skills to land. I would assume in a bigger airplane like this, like 50 feet, when you're starting to think about like doing your mech to flare to land, dude. And if I hear 50 or 30 and I'm like looking a quarter mile ahead of me at the piano keys, I mean, I want to give them the benefit of the doubt, but like, dude, I don't know. It's hard.
I don't disagree. I'm just saying, there were things in that report they were addressing, which it stood out to me that he goes auto throttle off and they've got a gust factor, because that immediately tells me you need to be adding, you add the +5 and the gust factor. Right. So if anything, they should have been fast, which they started out fast, but they didn't talk about their I mean, I didn't see it. They didn't talk about the calculated landing speeds, but
I mean, in the crew's defense, I understand why. I understand why they wanted to land like on brick 1, because it's a shorter runway, especially for a big 7.6 like that, heavy jet. I mean, when we go into Midway and the Airbus, I always, you talked about flying a 3 red 1 white. We go into the Midway and other short fields that we go into. I bias low, but I'm using, and I'm perfectly capable of getting up and landing. I'm not saying these guys are crap and all that. I'm just trying to think through, like, in a modern airliner, how did three pilots, how did this happen? Because there's just things that happen, like I said, with the automated rat out calls, like that it's kind of sets the cadence. And there's the sight picture too. I don't care. Okay, short runway, there's a little bit of visual illusion, but 2.9 is still a pretty wide runway. But illusions aside, like when you're landing big jets, if you have a sight picture, it's on a 3-degree glide slope, the runway is always about right in here. There's just a lot of things with 3 trained pilots in the airplane that I'm just like, man, how in the heck, where did the breakdown really happen? I mean, obviously nobody wants to land short, right? So
CRM. Right. Yeah, Mach is in the comments saying auto throttle off before landing. He says he flies the 7.6. That's interesting to me. I wonder if that's an airline thing, because I know a lot of like I've jump seated with like Southwest and stuff, and they turn it off. When? Our airline, we left it on.
When?
What do you mean when?
Like, did they have a spot where they would turn it off? Like
500, like inside of 1,000 feet.
They
apply the final portion of their approach. You're asking the wrong person if it's why. I don't know. I mean, we left it on. Yeah, some captains would turn it off too, just because they like more control. And it's if you think you're better than the automation, which you should be, you're a professional pilot. But I'm not here. I was not part of. I want to make this job harder than it needs to be. And if they told me to leave the auto throttles on, I didn't. Now again, that company dependent, they could be trained. Then we got a guy saying the auto throttles work very well on the 7.6-200, the KC-46. So it could be an airline thing. Me personally, I didn't have to do math, and you go, well, what's the gust factor? I know the winds, I just, okay, VREF +5. I knew where to put the little bug, and I didn't have to mess with it.
In Skybus, it puts the bug there for you, sir.
Really?
Yeah, dude. There's no hold on here.
You have to open the speed window and
no. The only thing, we would add a couple knots if I thought that wind gusts were an issue, but with that wind being, 20, 30 knots right down the pipe, 2.9, I just
well, I mean, that goes to the gust thing, right? So if you just lost 10 knots of lift, and you were slow, you know, you can easily get that little bit of a settle.
100%. Yeah.
But
That's why we would always add a couple.
To your point, you're right. That never should have been the sight picture in the first place. And the FO was trying, you know, he kind of said, hey, you're a little low, you know, but he just wasn't very assertive, or she. I mean, again, this is redacted. So,
yeah, I mean, they're significantly below flight path. And I wonder if they got a glide path call from the jet, or
not on that kind of approach.
I mean,
I don't think you would get anything on that.
Yeah,
I think you're right that they would get the 50. Like,
yeah, it's like, wait a minute, but the field's way over there, you know?
Yeah. Well, and that has happened. God, they used to tell us that in the little safety thing where aircraft had the wrong, was the altimeter? It could have been an altimeter. There was something where you would end up farther out and lower than what you expected based on one of the altitudes you entered, but I don't remember what it is.
I just use that call out as an example. I mean, like, if you fly into Cincinnati from the north, there's a huge like valley right before the field. So, you know, you'll get like the 100-foot call like twice, right, as you go across the valley. But I'm just saying, like, Newark's pretty flat, right?
You make a good point, because sometimes it's not enough to trigger it. Because sometimes if you ever watched it, it would be like 500 and it would bounce off 500 and you'd want to say it because you're like, it's not going to say it. And then it would say it.
Are you referring to an actual dial?
No, it's a number at the bottom of the pilot flight display.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. You're right. It does, because you're getting ready to say it, and then all of a sudden it gets like adds a couple hundred feet. And you're like,
yeah. You're like 1,000 state. You know, you're like, God damn it, we're not there yet. Yeah,
right. I don't know, but hey, you know, thankfully nobody was
100%
seriously hurt, and you know,
I don't think anybody was hurt at all, right? Except the captain's feelings.
Dude, whatever caused them to land like that, like, I hope.
You think that guy's going to make enough money in a settlement to win the Pepsi Challenge and get his own Harrier?
It wouldn't surprise me. I don't think he's going to buy a Harrier, but I think
that's 1990s.
That's 90s money, dude.
Yeah. Now it's probably at least a Super Hornet. Block 3 Super Hornet for
Block 3 Super Hornet. Yeah, I got all these United trading cards.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
You get to go hang out with Scott Kirby.
That's just a preliminary. I mean, it's just basically, snapshot. So we'll find out.
Yeah. All right. Let's wrap this up, Gonky. RM Nevada says, reference your fleeing suspect. Back in my day as a cop, last century, the real offense was felony stupid. Like, I'm hanging out on the beach in his retirement years. That's awesome.
It is awesome.
Vessel says, have you seen the C-17 River Fire fly past? Same route as the Growler one you guys watched to the city skyline. Crazy to see. Yeah, we covered that before.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
Yeah, it is awesome.
KY Maritime guy. The Spanish carrier was decommissioned in 2013 or thereabouts. The Italian carrier was pretty much purpose built for 10 Fat Amy Bs. It's a VTOL deck.
Looky there.
That's why we've never seen it floating around.
That's right.
So what do they even put it on? Nothing. They just VTOL from like their yard, someone else's yard.
They've cut a couple holes out in the jungle.
Yeah. What do you need VTOL for? You don't have a Navy. Like what?
Yeah.
Plane Nut says, plane is still sitting on a remote area of the airport. Rumor has it the engineers are still trying to figure out a temp repair to get it someplace for Boeing to fix it. They need to contact the Air Force because we've got that speed tape that we used when we shrapneled our KC-135.
Yeah, that's a lot of tape.
HD Kraut, speaking from a civil engineer viewpoint, why are we doing this? Allowing ATC to affect such last-second runway changes, especially playing with short cross runways since 2026, folks. Obviously, you've never dealt with the New York airspace system.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you. They're mean up there.
I mean, it's just, I mean, it's part of the...
Almost as mean as Chicago ground.
Never been there.
Gordy. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
They're not mean. They're just like what?
Yeah.
New Area 51. That's the nice thing about flying helicopters. You really don't pay any attention to the numbers besides torque. Fingers crossed for Luna. I do. I pay attention to the, faster than ETL, less than 300 feet per minute, some power, because I don't want to get into vortex ring state because that'll hurt you in a heartbeat. But I'm also a noob in helicopters, so. You realize, dude, I've been flying helicopters for 6 years now.
That's wild.
Isn't that crazy?
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Dang, man.
Full Afterburner USA says Italy just needs VTOL to look cool.
I don't think VTOL looks cool.
It is not cool. There's nothing cool about it.
I mean, dude, that 35, the barn door comes out, right? It
looks like it's like a dog taking a dump.
Yeah,
it's kind of hunched over, and it's got the thing.
It's very unnatural looking. That's right.
Nothing.
It's not like. I'm superficial. Nothing about it looks cool.
Speaking of dogs,
that's just
up for.
There you go.
All right. Can we end this?
Yeah, dude. Is that it? Did we make it? Look at that.
It is time for no more show. Luna has she's not even telling me it's bedtime. She's just out.
Well, next week I'll be back in my my normal office, which I kind of miss it.
Dude, we had an angry comment from somebody that said that they didn't like it.
What, this?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, no.
They don't like the exit sign above your head.
That is required for buildings like this for safety.
For restaurants.
Exactly, dude. Exactly. I mean, hold on. Let me see. There we go. There. I don't, hey. So.
Well, so much for this show, ladies and gentlemen.
Dude. That's right. Demonetized, locked out.
You will not get any more treats because we can't afford them.
Here, I'll just put there we go. How's that? Yeah, I should be back, man, in my normal office, which is kind of nice, but Valley Design, nice enough to let me use this place, so. It is what it is, my friend. Yeah, but same place.
My only priority is getting that pup better.
She's fine, dude. Look at her. She's fine.
She's way less stressed about it than you are.
That's because she didn't have to pay for it.
Mover care.
Mover care. It's free if you're a dog.
My friend was texting me from the sheriff's office, and she's like, "I would just give my kids a Tylenol and tell them to suck it up. I can't believe you just spent all that money on the dog ER."
I would do the same with my kids too, but not the dog.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
Take two. Suck it up.
Yeah, it's like, well, listen, she's got good health. She's got, as an employee of Mover Media, she has very good health care.
Yeah, can I move over to her plan? The state's good, but it's not that good.
You see who's in the small circle and who's in the big square, Douglas.
I chose that voluntarily, and I agree.
Yeah, we'll go with that. Well, sure. We gotta do this.
Are perfect.
Yeah.
Doug, your birthday. What are you doing, man?
Pizza and a movie with the kids, and like I said, new car.
That's on the Thursday?
Wednesday.
Wednesday. Oh, Wednesday. So now you're telling me there's no Nerd Ops on Wednesday?
Wednesday? Oh no, definitely Nerd Ops. I mean, if there's any night I can say, hey, I want to do Nerd Ops.
It's your birthday. So we have to do Battlefield 6 is what you're saying.
That's up to you.
Because it's your birthday.
Doug, isn't Father's Day coming up too?
Yeah, man. I rolled them all into one. That's how I got.
Look at you.
How I got accounting to prove a new car.
Yeah, dude. This is your mom.
Accounting can prove a new car.
Dude. I love it.
I've been calling my wife the accounting department since I started racing.
That's funny.
Gonky, what do you call your wife?
Boss.
Ma'am.
Air boss.
Boss.
She's the air boss.
Just boss, dude.
Well, I mean, we had a show today. We had a flight doc to tell us about doctoring things.
We did, man.
He rolled in the mental health minute.
Yeah. Mental health minute is go talk to somebody unless you're in the Air Force, in which case we don't know.
Correct. Yeah.
That's where we kind of learned there.
Situation normal.
Yeah, we know the FAA is fine.
Yeah.
So,
well,
all right. I think that's it for the show. Thank you for watching, everybody.
See you guys next week.
Yeah, we'll see you Monday.
See you guys.
Good night, everybody.